As you may already know, tensions between Iran and the United States are at their highest point in years. An Iranian surface-to-air missile downed an unmanned U.S. military surveillance drone in June. This was followed by a U.S. warship destroying an Iranian drone in the same vicinity, in the Strait of Hormuz. While both countries insist they don't want war, there are concerns about the possibility of a full-blown military conflict. In this video we are going to explore what could happen in such a situation. How would a war between the US and Iran play out? While outcomes would vary depending on many different factors, one thing is for sure, such a conflict would be bloody and devastating. At this point, it's hard to be precise about what a full-fledged war between the two countries would look like. We know it would feature a series of moves and counter-moves. We know it would be very messy and confusing. And we also know it would be extremely deadly. While U.S. forces will undoubtedly have a tremendous advantage over the Iranian military, this war would not be as one-sided as Washington's invasion of Afghanistan almost 2 decades ago. The U.S. strategy will almost certainly involve using overwhelming air and naval power to beat Iran into submission early on. The U.S. military will bomb Iranian ships, parked warplanes, missile sites, nuclear facilities, and training grounds, as well as launch cyber attacks on much of the country's military infrastructure. The goal would be to degrade Iran's conventional forces within the first few days and weeks, making it even harder for Tehran to resist American strength. If the U.S. decides to invade with ground forces, it may enter Iran the way Saddam Hussein did during the Iran-Iraq War, using a water pass bordering southwest Iran. However, at this point, the conflict will likely get complex and potentially deadly for U.S. troops. Even with its air force and navy being disabled, Iran, with a population of 82 million people and the 14th most powerful military in the world, can call on over 750,000 active and reserve personnel in any conflict. Additionally, Iran can call on its allies and proxies to help, which include militant groups and friendly countries. Groups such as Hezbollah in Lebanon and the Houthi rebels in Yemen could be used to strategically attack U.S. allies like Israel and Saudi Arabia. Thanks to the narrow nature of the Strait of Hormuz, which would undoubtedly serve as a staging area for the U.S. Navy, Iran could cause significant damage to U.S. warships. It could also shut down the strait altogether, which would cause havoc in global oil markets. While Tehran can't match Washington's superior firepower, it can spread chaos in the Middle East and around the world, hoping that a war where a U.S. public, an intervention-skeptical president, and an angered international community cause America to stand down. 1A. U.S.-Iran war would be devastating during and after the fighting, and its impact would almost certainly be felt by the entire global community. It's a good thing that neither the U.S. nor Iran's leadership currently appear to want a conflict. But if they change their minds, only carnage follows.